Hi guys. So I'm not really great at sharing my testimony or emotions or any of that. It's kind of difficult for me. So I spent a good 2 hours last night thinking about what I would want to say, and this is what I came up with. So, growing up with wonderful parents, they always encouraged me to get baptized when I felt like I was ready. And while I have thought about doing it multiple times in the past, I always felt like I was missing something in my faith, and that there was something I still had yet to learn before taking that step. I am someone who always likes to have control over my life and my heart. When challenges arrive, I like to take it by the reins and run with it by myself. But that all came crashing down as I lost control of every situation in my life this past year. I experienced heartbreak and brokenness beyond what I ever thought I would go through. I lost control over my life and was spiraling into a hole of brokenness and feeling unloved by not only people but God. I could not seem to get a firm grip on my brokenness enough to try and make a recovery by myself. So I thought this time, maybe instead of running away from God and trying to handle with the stress of life on my own, I would run towards Him and seek Him out even though I had my doubts about His promises. This is when I randomly found the small blue card that Alan Hobley had given me so long ago when I was a senior in high school. And in that moment, I decided that in order to follow God's will, I would need to be in fellowship with people who loved God as much as I did. Taking that step was hard, but through iLife, I learned a lesson that I had been searching for, and I found the thing that had been missing in my faith, and that was trust. As painful as it was, I handed my chaos and mess over to God and told Him to do what He will with it. Since I did that, He has transformed my brokenness and made me into something so beautiful. And even when I first joined iLife and didn't feel worthy enough to be in the presence of such faithful Christians as you continue to reach out to me, making it easier to push past my fears and self-doubt and seeking God's will. Now I am stronger than ever and ready to trust God wherever He takes me in life. But before I am baptized, there is an incredible analogy that was told to me by my friend who has helped me through this time that I want to share with all of you today. Our faith is like blacksmithing. We all start off as broken tools or hunks of metal that cannot be used, until God, our blacksmith, picks us up and puts us over the hot coals and fire to melt us. This fire that God puts us in is very, very painful, and it burns, and we feel like there's no end to the hurt. Then God takes us out of the fire and uses His hammer to smash us into the shape He wants us to be. This process hurts even more because now we are being smashed and shaped and stretched constantly, making our lives very uncomfortable. But then after all the fire and pain comes the cool water that the metal is dunked into to cool the fire. The cool water resembles the strength and peace that God gives us after the process of healing and reshaping. And once we come out of the water, we are beautiful and extremely useful tools that Jesus will use to help us build the world we live in, the kingdom of heaven. This is a continuous process for us as we are used and we will eventually wear out, but God will put us back in the fire and start the process all over again. So wherever you are in life, whether it be in the fire, under the hammer, or in the water, if you allow God to shape you and take care of your brokenness, I promise you that He will transform you into something you won't even believe is possible. All of us here knows what loss feels like. We all know brokenness, and we all know what it feels like to feel the devil's sting. But if we keep our eyes on our Father, He will always work for the good of those who love Him and who live according to His word. Woo! So thank you, church, for giving me this opportunity to be baptized as an outward expression of what I've learned.
Brooklyn, do you know you are God's child through faith in Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? Is it your earnest desire to follow Christ in death to self and to walk with Him in newness of life?
Brooklyn, Evan, because of your faith in our Lord Jesus